Welcome to the Luis Finance channel, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 15 financial lessons that will put you far ahead of the rest. And I'm telling you this from my own experience. Realistically, we live in a country where standing out is easy. Why? Because most people don't like to read, they don't like to think, and they simply like to live as if they were a ship out at sea, without sails or direction, just going wherever the wind takes them. So, these 15 lessons I'm going to give you are quite powerful and will help you a lot to improve your financial life. And if you find this video very useful, which I'm sure you will, please subscribe to the Luis Finance channel. You would help me a lot. Let's go with the first one. Lesson 1. Appearances are deceiving. Money itself is quiet, especially, for example, in countries like China, where a billionaire can go out and have some street tacos, walk around everywhere with complete peace of mind, and even dress like a homeless person. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, those people don't really care about what others think. Unlike in countries like the US or Colombia, where people with money want to show off or make sure everyone sees that they're doing well financially, that you arrive in a luxury car, have a huge house, or drive the latest Porsche. All of that, in my opinion, speaks to an emptiness inside that person. The truly wealthy, or at least the people I admire financially, are usually those who live well below their means. Basically, it's a silent luxury that no one knows about. That's the best way, because especially in countries like the US, Mexico, or throughout Latin America, envy is at its peak. So be very careful with that. And of course, don't trust the first image you see on social media, because there's probably a scam hidden behind it. Be careful. Lesson 2. Define how much is enough for you. This concept is quite powerful, and if you want to learn a bit more, there's a book I highly recommend called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, which basically talks about this. Set a limit for your life. What do I mean by this? That you have your lifestyle very well defined and know what is enough for you. Whether it's having a large 4-bedroom house, owning 2 new cars, having enough to pay for your children's tuition at the school you want, or being able to travel 3 to 4 times a year. That, for example, could be your enough. That's all you need. Because at the end of the day, many people lose their heads chasing money, and it's obvious when they start selling products or promoting their social media, or when they start putting themselves out there in society. They often come across as people who have zero interest in improving others' lives or in having a real purpose for their business. All they really want is to make money, and that's it. Personally, I can easily identify who these kinds of people are in my industry, and I try to stay as far away from them as possible, because negativity is contagious, and obviously you end up being affected by it too. So be very careful with this. And the way to fix it is by knowing what is enough for you. Once you have that enough that you fought so hard for and achieved, look for ways to preserve it by diversifying your investments. But don't play the game of always wanting more and more. And don't get me wrong, this isn't about settling, it's about your lifestyle. Why? Because there will never be a limit. You might say, hey, I'm living good. My dream has always been to be in the country club of my city. That could be your enough. The problem is that when that's not enough for you, then you move on to the country club in Miami, then to Beverly Hills, and you start comparing yourself to people who have way more money than you do. And believe me, there will always be someone who has way more money than you. So avoid playing these comparison games, fall in love with your ideal life, and once you have it, protect your wealth. That's it, nothing more. So that's a big lesson. Define your enough. Let's move on to lesson 3, and that is your circle determines your financial ceiling. It's something that might already be overused on social media because so many people say it, but it's very true. You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with 5 drunks, you'll be the 6th. If you surround yourself with 5 people who study, you'll be the 6th. If you surround yourself with 5 people who are constantly growing and seeing their businesses increase, you'll be the 6th. So be very careful with your environment. And look, I don't mean that you should distance yourself from that friend from elementary or high school who is a great friend, but doesn't have money, doesn't have your economic potential, and that means you shouldn't talk to them anymore. No, not at all. There's also such a thing as humility and remembering where you come from. But when it comes to professional matters, I do recommend that you take a look at that list of friends and try to surround yourself with winners. Lesson 4. Always use compound interest. And the younger you are, the greater its power will be. Why? Because the secret to generating exponential wealth is called compound interest. And what is that? Basically, it's reinvesting your earnings plus your interest year after year. Why? Because at the end of the day, if you start investing money or even time, compound interest isn't just for money. It can also apply to business. If, for example, the knowledge you acquire year after year, you keep acquiring and reinvesting in your knowledge, growing and growing and growing, sooner or later, you will create a financially unrecognizable person within yourself. You will surprise everyone with how well you've done, because in the end, you have that stamina, you have that consistency. And the best way to practice compound interest is simply through investments. For example, if you start investing $100 a month from a young age, just to put it that way. And instead of taking out the profits you make and spending them on any nonsense, I encourage you to let that amount you set aside keep growing. Reinvest, reinvest, reinvest. And when 10, 15, 20 years go by, you'll be surprised at the amount of money you have. Mark my words. Lesson 5. High fees destroy returns. And I'm not just talking about financial products like an S&P 500 or some index fund, but about practically everything. Credit cards, or when taking out a loan. Fees are a part of life. It's not possible to eliminate them completely, but thanks to the market, there is competition. So you'll always be able to find a cheaper loan, a cheaper credit card, or an index fund that pays you more than another. And you do this by researching. So part of your job, if you want to do well financially, and part of this lesson is to do your research. Is it a hassle? Yes, but believe me, it doesn't feel like such a burden anymore, especially with apps like ChatGPT or even Claude. You can make financial comparisons and get incredible data in seconds. So make use of technology. Lesson 6. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And what do I mean by this? That you have to diversify. Clearly, wealth is built when you focus on something, on your main business or whatever is consistently generating you a good cash flow. But the only way to preserve that wealth and to protect yourself if that source of income suddenly disappears overnight is to diversify. Think, for example, of Canelo Alvarez, the famous Mexican boxer, right? Canelo Alvarez basically focused on boxing, which is what paid him a fortune every time he fought. $20 million, $50 million, and so on, to the point where he was able to accumulate that wealth. But the reality is that once he retires, there's no way he'll keep earning that kind of money. So what did he do, or what is he doing to protect himself? He diversified. He's in the gas station business. He's in the convenience store business. It wouldn't even surprise me if he also had a lot of investments in real estate and in the stock market. And obviously, this helps him preserve his wealth so that when he's 90 years old, he won't have anything to worry about. And if you really want to learn how to diversify your money in the best way, I invite you to subscribe to the Luis Finance channel, because that's what this channel is about. How to generate wealth and multiply it for yourself. Lesson 7. Invest early and don't try to predict the market. It's really impossible to time the market, to know when a stock will be at its lowest point and when it will be at its highest. Clearly, there are financial tools that can give us an idea, but hitting the mark is impossible. So at the end of the day, we have to invest with medium and long-term goals and understand that the real profit in the world of investing comes from waiting. Lesson 8. Always pay your credit card balance in full. Don't give the bank your money in interest. Every time someone pays only the minimum on their credit card or pays interest on their card, I see it exactly like this. The bank gives you a trash can and you just throw your money in there, into that trash can, because that's what it is. It's money you're giving away to the bank, and that shouldn't happen. So whenever you have the chance to save yourself from paying the most interest, do it. Especially when we're talking about consumer debt, like credit cards. Be extremely careful with those. Because let me tell you, a lot of people say to me, hey, guess what? I took out a 15-year mortgage, but with this mortgage, I already have the money to pay it off. And there's just 1 year left until those 15 years are up. Is it worth it for me to pay it off now? The reality is that it's no longer worth it, because for 14 years, you've already paid the interest on the loan. And now the last year is just principal. So take advantage of that good debt you have. But when you have the opportunity to make a significant payment toward the interest you owe on a loan, without a doubt, it can be a great alternative. Lesson 9. Automate your savings and pay yourself first. Making it a consistent habit to contribute regularly, whether to a personal retirement plan or, for example, to an investment you have in the stock market, is excellent. Consistency is king in the world of investing. And what could be better than paying yourself first before paying everyone else? Because in the end, that's how you force yourself to have a better financial quality of life. If, for example, you receive $3,000 or $4,000 in your paycheck each month, what would you do? Out of that, don't even look at $200. Send them straight to investment and then figure out how to live on the remaining balance. It can be done. Absolutely. The point is that we need to have the willingness to save first, not wait until the end. Because if you wait until the end, believe me, you won't do it and you won't save a single dollar. So be very careful with this. Lesson 10. An exceptional sales month is not your new life, nor is it your new income. If you received a really good sales bonus, a year-end bonus, or profit sharing, try to live without it. See it as extra and put it into investments. That will help you a lot, because at the end of the day, if we treat it like a sport to spend all that extra money that comes our way, then ultimately building wealth will be completely non-existent. And I get it. It's awesome when that money suddenly comes in and we want to go on vacation. But what I'm saying is that you end up spending it all, even if it's on those nice things. Of course you can treat yourself, absolutely, but set aside a portion for investment. This will be key And of course, the difference between your present self and your future self. Lesson 11. Build an emergency fund first, preferably covering 3 to 6 months of your income. Why? Because nowadays, you never know when your main source of income might run out. You never know when you might get fired, when a client will stop buying from you, or when the economy will simply stagnate. That's exactly why it's important that before we start investing in the stock market, buying a car, or investing in real estate, we make sure to always have that money available and growing. So what is an emergency fund? Basically, it's money that is always available to you, constantly earning interest for when an emergency happens. Examples of emergencies are car emergency, health emergency, educational emergency, you name it. There are many emergencies that can come up, and ideally, you wouldn't have to use that money. And don't make the mistake that a lot of people do who tell me, hey, guess what? I've invested my emergency fund for a year. Well, that's no longer an emergency fund, because if you want to access that money, you'll have to wait until the investment matures. So be careful. Lesson 12. Distinguish between an asset and a liability. And I'm talking about personal finance, not accounting. What is an asset? Anything that puts money in your pocket. What is a liability? Anything that takes money out of your pocket. What are the rich obsessed with? Acquiring assets, generating passive income that brings them money basically without having to do anything in order to preserve their capital. That is the magic and what we need to understand at a financial level. The larger our asset column, the greater our financial freedom will be. Or basically, the less we will depend on others to be able to live freely. Lesson 13, and perhaps the most important, your main asset is you. What you put into your mind, no one can take away from you. No one can steal from you. The big difference between multimillionaires and poor people is the amount of material they put into their minds. Positive things, business knowledge, financial knowledge, investment knowledge. The more knowledge you can put in, the greater your chances of success in life will be. And that's why I insist that you subscribe to the Luis Finance channel, because it really can change your life. Lesson 14. When you reach your goal, change your strategy. Preserving wealth requires the ability to consistently generate it. What worked for you in 2020 may no longer work in 2026. And what works in 2027 may not work in 2031. The point is to constantly adapt to the changes that can happen in life. And above all, to minimize risks. As Warren Buffett's rule says, never lose money. And lesson 15. Finances are personal. Filter everything. What works for some influencer might ruin you. What works for your best friend might mess up your life. Everyone in this life has different paths. And copying someone else's path is not always the solution to your problems. What you have to do is try out different paths. Feel comfortable where you feel like that's the right direction and you're actually seeing a monetary return. That's where the difference will be. What's the key? Don't give up. Keep constantly looking for sources of income and finding ways for us to grow our money and our wealth. That's exactly why when I make videos about business ideas, I give 15 ideas, not 20, because it's not like all 20 are going to work for you. It's simply so you can pick 2 or 3 that make sense to you and go after them. That's exactly what life is. It's about searching for the best path for you, not for Mark, not for Gabriella, but for you. That's all there is to it. And remember, a poor executor is worth much more than an excellent planner. So execute, execute, execute. Put these plans into action, because that's where the real difference will be made. That's why many people who maybe got 90s and 100s in elementary, middle, and high school don't do all that well, because in the end, they left that knowledge in the books and not in execution. Execution will be the difference between who you are today and who you will be tomorrow. And so we've reached the end of this video. I hope you gained some really good knowledge today, that it truly helped you. If you liked it, please let me know what you thought, and I'll see you in the next video.